So Antonio, how would you describe your film?
My film? I'd say Simon Killer was about a young man going to Paris after he graduates college and has just gotten out of a long-term relationship. He goes with the intention of starting his sort of trip around Europe, post-grad trip around Europe, and he starts in Paris, and he ends up bumming around Paris a little too long and ends up at a brothel where he meets a young French prostitute, and that's sort of where the plot starts.
Okay. The film depicts certain themes of amorality and finding oneself through not always pleasant ways. Why did you decide to take a special interest in those themes?
I guess these themes have been things that I've explored in other films of mine, the shorts and my previous feature, and so it felt like a natural progression. I had been dealing with mostly teenage characters and adolescents, and this was sort of the next step, I guess. You just end up having an idea, and it felt right, and we set out to make an amoral tale, and we were excited by that, in sort of presenting this awful character, going through some sort of metamorphosis, in a very direct way. And I was excited to work with Brady, and I was excited to go back to Paris and to explore Pigalle as the backdrop for the film.
And why did you choose Paris as the location?
I had lived in this area, kind of. I mean, I lived on a street called Rue de Martyr when I was writing after school at the Cannes residence program. And, it's a beautiful street, and then around the corner it's peppered with these hostess bars, which are still the same way they must have been in the 70s. And I was always fascinated by the neighborhood, and then I started reading books by a guy named George Simenon, a Belgian writer, and a lot of his stuff kind of was set in or around there, and other sort of seedy neighborhoods and other seedy or other French cities. And so I was excited to go there and explore it. And then once there, we found a contact, and we got into the world, and spent time in these places, and met these women, and some of them are actually in the film. And so it was just kind of a world that I was fascinated by from the outside, and then once I met the people and spent time in these places, it was even more fascinating.
Cool. I saw that you're a jury for the festival.
Yeah.
Do you have any films that maybe you would recommend for some of the viewers to see?
Well, I can't even say that, I don't think, what I would recommend at this point. We'll let the sort of decisions at the end be what those recommendations are, but there's a lot of films out of competition that I'm excited to see, and Pietà by Kim Ki-duk is a film I'm very excited to see. I'd love to see the comedy while I'm here. It's a film from the States. There's a pretty incredible selection here. So.
And finally, the spotlight of this year's Stockholm Film Festival is power. Do you see any aspects of that in your film?
Yes, I do. I think there is a bit of that in terms of him trying to manipulate his way into having some sort of power over these women, but making it seem like he needs them in some sort of weak way, but he's actually getting exactly what he wants out of them.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.